The Student Prince is performed in English. The lead characters are Americans, and for the past 11 years, the Eastman Philharmonic Orchestra has come from New York to perform. The story was adapted from a German play that was extremely popular around the turn of the century. It was first performed as an operetta in New York in 1924. Now it's become an annual summertime tradition at the Heidelberg Castle, blending German storytelling with American stage influence.
Have any German performances because it's originally in English. I think the music is a mixture of old Viennese and middle new English, so it's still before the music came into the United States, so it's still sort of the American operetta-like music, and there is a German translation back from the English version into German, which is so horrible that we couldn't possibly put it on.
There are 7 performances of The Student Prince in August, beginning this weekend. The operetta is performed outdoors, surrounded by the walls of Heidelberg Castle. In Heidelberg, Pam Proper, AFN News.
That's our report for tonight. We'll leave you with another look at The Student Prince in Heidelberg. Have yourselves a good evening.
The AFN Evening News was recorded earlier.
Of The Student Prince, performed at the Heidelberg Castle. Tonight, we meet the lead players.
The 2 leading characters of the Student Prince operetta, Katie and the Prince, Karl Franz, are once again played by Melissa Tosh and Kevin Tarte at this year's festival in Heidelberg. For both of them, a dream came true when they first got the role 3 years ago.
What a wonderful thing to do this role in Heidelberg.
For me, it was a wonderful opportunity and kind of a dream because The Student Prince, the music of that show, I knew ever since I was a child.
It's a very diversified life they are living, but
It's wonderful. That's what it's always about on the stage. It always has to be different.
3 seasons as the Prince and Katie have made the roles very meaningful for the 2 actors.
For me, in fact, I feel quite a bit different about it this year than I have in the past. I have a different feeling on the stage, a much more grounded confidence and a much more stronger feeling of not being an actor, but being just a real person through the vehicle of the show. And that's what I really would like to, what I'm bringing to the part this year.
It has a lot to do with Kevin, who plays the Prince, and with me as we mature and have different relationships in our private life. It certainly affects us very much. And yes, I think the roles are getting more earnest and more believable, hopefully, every year.
Given the success of The Student Prince in Heidelberg's old castle, Melissa and Kevin may not have seen the last of the old Sigmund Romberg classic. Gary Bautel, AFN News.
That's all for now. Good night.
De naam van Gualtier Maldé, Dromen. Alleen hoeven wij maar zo te doen en wij benaderen Gilda natuurlijk.